Assalamu alaikum and a very warm welcome to all the participants. I'm Kanza Suhail, Faculty of Management at IBA Karachi, and I'm invited here to moderate the discussion on reimagining business models by Mind Matters. Mind Matters is a training and consulting company that aims to bridge the gap between knowledge providers and knowledge seekers through value-added offerings in the market. Today's panel discussion on reimagining business models is aimed to inspire the micro and small business owners and also the potential entrepreneurs to challenge the current status quo. It is very important to rethink the whole process of doing business through design-driven and tech innovations at this time. Today we have an impressive set of panelists with us who will share their stories of magic, and we'll also share their views on how to reimagine the current situation, as you know that the economy has completely changed throughout the world. In the end, of course, we'll have question and answer session so that people sitting with us can also get their answers from our panelists. So let me just quickly introduce to the two amazing people sitting with me. My first panelist is a serial entrepreneur. I'm sure even if you don't know him, you definitely know his ventures. So I would like to welcome Muneeb Meyer, founder of Bikeia, which is Pakistan's largest network of motorbikes serving transport, logistics, and payment services. And I'm sure you all must be using Bikeia some or the other way. He's also served as co-founder and CEO at Daraz.pk for 4 years, which is Pakistan's largest e-commerce platform acquired by Alibaba Group. So please welcome Muneeb. Okay, so my another panelist is an amazing young individual whose history of challenging the existing business started when he was only 21 years old and in his BBA third semester. He and his partner completely changed the dynamics by introducing a venture called Stallion Deliveries, which was later acquired by ARY Group. Currently, he is the co-founder and CEO of Trax Logistics. So please welcome Mohammed Hassan Khan. Okay, great. So I hope my panelists are ready here, and I will not waste further time and will directly go into the discussion with our first theme, basically. So I would like both of you to please tell the participants about how you reimagined business models in your current or past ventures.
So yeah, would you like me to start?
Yes, please, Hassan, you can start, please.
Sure. So thank you for having us here, Kanza. I think it's an amazing session, and let's see how it goes. So as far as I am concerned, or the business venture that I was engaged in concerned, so it was 2013 or 2014 when the e-commerce was sort of was growing in Pakistan and had set its foot, that we realized that we should do something around e-commerce, and rather than setting up online retail or setting up a marketplace, we thought let's look around the industry and see the sort of services, the sort of the organizations that support this industry. And that's when we thought of logistics, because even our own past experiences with logistics, with receiving the orders, were not very great. So we decided to, focus on the logistics and see what happens around this area of the industry. And when we sort of researched a bit, since in 2013 and 2014, e-commerce was in its infancy. And when we researched a bit, we found out that all these e-commerce retailers like Daraz, like Telemart, like Symbioz, like Home Shopping, there were very few of them back then, used to work with legacy companies, and I would not name any. And these legacy companies would provide them logistics services, but the services were not up to the mark. Either the logistics companies were not innovating enough, or they were not geared up or providing tailor-made services to that these e-commerce retailers required. And one very big gap that we found was that these legacy companies, they deliver the shipments, provide logistics services, but then they hold on to the cash of these e-commerce retailers. So they take 15 days or 7 days to reimburse after delivering their shipments. They take around 15 days or even in some cases a month to reimburse the cash back to the sellers. We thought of this as a very big inefficiency in the whole system because in e-commerce you think that you do not have to invest anything. You do not have to own a brick and mortar store. You just have to set up an online page, a website, a web store, or a Facebook page, and you can start selling online. And but little did the people know that you have to have this working capital stuck with courier companies because they hold on to your cash for 15 days or a month. So that's when we thought, we reimagined the whole thing. That's when we thought that we should really kill this inefficiency and provide the payments instantly back to these sellers, and use technology to maybe because we always saw how logistics companies get choked up during the campaign days, during the promotions, Blessed Friday, Ramzan, Eid promotions. So we thought that because all these courier companies, they have very experienced staff working with them, maybe they're not using technology to their advantage, and that's why they're choking during these campaigns. So that's why we launched Stallion with the 24 hours cashback. And 2-3 years down the road in 2017, we launched Tracks on a much bigger scale with the help of IBL Group. And we launched it across Pakistan. We're delivering in 350 destinations across Pakistan. We provide tech-enabled services to these e-retailers. We are the fastest cash providers. So within 24 hours of the delivery, we provide cash back to these online retailers. And other than that, we are using these technologies, these models that we have built for e-commerce businesses to enable some of the conventional businesses like pharma companies, managing their logistics, solving logistics issues for them, for my banks, microfinance banks. So we are helping these businesses also now. So yes.
Okay, great, Hassan. So you actually found a gap and you pitched in your business model. So this is one way of course, reimagining by figuring out the gap in the market. And then you should have the courage to reimagine or launch something which is challenging the status quo. Yes, Munib, we would definitely like to hear your story of how you reimagined the business model and how you worked in different ventures.
Jay, so so I just want to clarify, actually, at Rocket Internet, which was the Daraz venture, I spent 4 years there, but I didn't own the business, right? The business was owned by Rocket Internet. And, I think after 4 years there, I wanted to go out and build a product that I could control and I could tweak. Because the problem is when you are working for any organization, or you're even in the leadership in any organization, your control over the technology is somewhat limited, right? And I say technology, but in reality, I actually mean product, right? Because frankly speaking, I think technology is capable to build anything that product architects well, right? So I don't think the gap in all these frontier geographies is in technology or people who are capable to build technologies, because we have a lot of software developers. I think the gap is imagining the journey from a product perspective, as to ye hoga to uske baad kya hoga, uske baad kya hoga, and so forth, right?
Exactly.
So when I after about 4 years at Daraz, when I was thinking of trying to do something next, one thing was clear, that had to figure out how to make the internet meaningful for a larger demographic and enable the coming of the internet within cities. And what I mean by that is, agar aap iski historical legacy dekhein, the internet shuru mein I came back to Pakistan after college in 2004, right? So I'm 41, by the way, So 2004 में मैं college के बाद 1-2 साल investment banking में काम करके जब वापस आया, तो उस वक्त जो internet, high speed internet है, वो उसकी availability सिर्फ internet pipes में थी. So you had to essentially get these fiber optic connections. So that's the only way you could sort of leverage high speed internet. And the way I thought of leveraging high-speed internet back then was कि जी एक ऑफिस में फाइबर ऑप्टिक की आप लाइन ले लो, उसको कनेक्ट कर दो अमेरिकन ऑफिसेस के साथ और या दुनिया में कोई भी ऑफिस है उसके साथ, and you should be able to do some wage arbitrage. And what that means is कि जहां आप बिलफर्ज $50,000 पर ईयर में कोई अमेरिका में कोई एनालिस्ट रखते हैं, आप वही $10,000 में पाकिस्तान में रख सकते हैं, right? So leveraging the internet and the wage arbitrage opportunity between basically the United States and Pakistan was basically the need of the hour, right? Then the next need of the hour was, after about 7 years of doing that in 2012, had started building an eBay type platform, trying to this time leverage the internet for within the country internet transactions, right? Because उस वक्त तक DSL इस नौयत तक फैल गया था कि अक्सर लोगों के घरों में PTCL के जरिए DSL इंटरनेट था, right?
True.
So given that ये highway connect हो गई थी, we said, okay, so now that internet is available from one city to another city in Pakistan, and fairly inexpensive internet and fairly reliable, let's start trade and commerce within the city, within the country, right? And so, I was trying to actually sell my e-commerce platform to Rocket Internet. They didn't buy it, and it ultimately convinced me to join their platform, which is basically Daraz, but Daraz is essentially a clone of a similar platform in every country in the world, from India to Thailand to Indonesia to South Africa to Nigeria. हर मुल्क में उनका एक ही खोखा है, उसको basically images change करके basically उसको इस्तेमाल करके execute करते हैं. लेकिन I mean, after about 4 years there, I still thought कि internet अगर आपने meaningful efficiency के लिए इस्तेमाल करना है, किसी utility के लिए इस्तेमाल करना है, तो अब internet फोनों में आ रहा था, right? So started to look at Uber, saw the initial basically uptick of Careem, and said, hey, if we can use the internet for commerce within a city, that can have a lot of value as well, right? So I think every basically period has an opportunity for you to reimagine how to leverage the availability of resources at that point in time to enable a business. Right. So right now, frankly speaking, Hassan also comes from the logistics space.
Yeah.
A lot of people perceive as in logistics. In reality, most of our business, 80% of our business, 85% of our business, is actually motorbike taxi. We're in the same business as Uber and Careem. We're just in a different vehicle category. Right? Instead of being in like Miras, Daihatsu Miras, we're in basically locally assembled motorbikes, right? And so the medium, the medium has changed. So when we are now trying to think about logistics, we are not trying to think about logistics from the perspective of every logistics company in this country, right? Because why would we want to get into a price war, right? It's just pointless trying to get into a price war. So what you've got to go back and think about then is how do you reimagine logistics, right? How can you solve for logistics for the future? So one problem that we genuinely see and find is cash and delivery, right? The reason why one courier is better or has better service levels versus another courier is, for the most part, of course there are multiple other problems, but for the most part the problem is कि जी cash on delivery को वो courier जो shipper है उसके साथ कैसे deal कर रहा है, right? Now आप of course इस service level को improve कर सकते हैं by pouring in a lot of money and basically paying before you receive the money, and that's obviously a solution as well, right? But the fundamental problem is that there is a problem in profiling drivers, right? आपको नहीं पता कि आपकी 50,000 या लाख रुपए के कैश के साथ राइडर वापस आएगा कि नहीं आएगा. Fundamentally ये मसला है. So basically it's a problem. Have we solved it? No, we haven't. We are thinking about how to solve it, particularly as we get into logistics. And hopefully if we're able to solve it, we should be able to solve it for the courier industry as well, not just for ourselves, because we don't really care to get into, like, हमारे लिए basically एक crowdsource, एक individual है कि एक ठेकेदार है. Courier क्या है? ठेकेदार ही है ना, ठीक है? So it's the same thing, right? It doesn't matter to us. because these are not our assets. But fundamentally, the question is what is it exactly that you're solving? And I think that's what, that's what basically keeps us up all night. Okay, what are we solving? Why are we solving it? And is this scalable long term or not?
Great, Munib. So thank you. And you highlighted very important points, especially that with the changing times, the opportunities keep on changing. And it's actually the responsibility of the businesses to capture the right opportunity at the right time. And secondly, a very important point, of course, you have shared here is that with changing opportunities, you have to figure out a solution. You have to identify the need that your business is trying to solve, right? So of course, the current situation has created a lot of changes in the environment, and we'll be discussing soon. But before that, I would just like to ask a few questions regarding, I would like you to share that what is the problem with the businesses, existing small businesses? Why do you think they're unable to reimagine? Like what is the problem? Why they are unable to challenge the status quo? What do you think? Yes, Hassan and Munib, please. Yes, Hassan.
So I think with small businesses, I think small businesses in Pakistan, they're doing an amazing job, and a very important chunk of our economy, it's comprised of these small and medium enterprises across Pakistan. And I think what they're not doing right, probably I think they're not doing anything wrong. Small businesses primarily an enterprise which is maybe run by few individuals. They're limited in resources, they're limited in capacity. But all these small businesses, they have the potential to go big, right? So what a lot of small business they do wrong is I think they do not think big. For example, even if they have the best product, even if they come up with the best product, they they do not have a scalable model in mind. Right, what Munib said in the end, what is the problem that we are solving, and is it scalable or not? So if a lot of these small businesses are very successful. So for example, if I share an example with you, so as soon as the lockdown was in place, we actually were operational throughout the lockdown, because since I told you we do logistics for pharma companies as well. So throughout the lockdown, we were allowed to operate. We transported PPE kits, we transported pharma supplies across Pakistan, sanitizers, and all of these things. So that's why we were allowed to operate. And then what we started seeing was a lot of small businesses, once the lockdown was eased out. So a lot of these small businesses started approaching us, we have now started selling online. We've now started accepting online orders, but we need a logistics partner, and maybe we want to sign up with you. And we signed up a lot of such small businesses, and we started shipping for them. What I'm trying to highlight here is all these small businesses, all these apparel sellers, jewelry sellers, all these conventional retailers, they never thought of doing e-commerce. I'm sure they must have been approached by a lot of marketplaces at times. A lot of people around them must have told them that you have a shop, let's say in Hyderabad, Karachi, and if you just take it online, either sign up on Daraz, either sign up on one of the marketplaces, or maybe make a WhatsApp group, make a Facebook page, and you can start selling online. But none of them, because they already used to शायद उनकी needs उस shop से पूरी हो जाती होंगी, उस sale से पूरी हो जाती होंगी, they never thought of going online or using technology to their advantage. And that's when the pandemic hit them and hit all of us. And since we had no other option, so a lot of us decided, and we jumped onto the bandwagon. And I'm sure a lot of these people must be enjoying. We are getting orders from Hyderabad and Peshawar and Lahore and Islamabad, which we would have never gotten, or which we would have never fulfilled otherwise. So I think these are the few things. First of all, thinking big. Secondly, coming up with a model. If your product is right and you're getting demand for your product, then you should maybe think of setting up a model that's scalable, and you should scale up fast, because something that's successful gets replicated, gets copied by a lot of other people. So that's my take on it. Yeah.
Great. Okay. Yes, Munib. What do you say about this? Even if it's the new entrepreneurs who are budding entrepreneurs who are going towards the reimagining thing or the small businesses? What's the problem? How does one actually realize that it's the time to go to reimagine something?
देखिए जी, फंडामेंटली आई थिंक हम लोग प्लानिंग इतनी अच्छी नहीं करते, राइट? हम लोग जो है वो काम पे पहले जंप कर देते हैं, प्लानिंग कम होती है, राइट? And of course, sometimes you don't have time for planning because you have to get to market really fast. Even if you're getting to market, I think it's very important. और जो अक्सर जो स्मॉल बिजनेसेस कुछ कर पाती हैं और कुछ नहीं कर पाती, उनमें फर्क ये है कि जो कर पाती हैं उन्होंने जर्नी मैप किया होता है। मतलब आप एक पीस ऑफ पेपर ले लें, आप कहें जी अच्छा ये होगा तो उसके बाद ये होगा तो उसके बाद ये होगा और अगर कोई मसला हुआ तो ये होगा, राइट? सो ऑल ऑफ दैट इज जस्ट मैप्ड, ठीक है? और उसके साथ आपने मैप करके ये भी अंदाजा लगा दिया कि इसका खर्चा क्या होगा, राइट? मतलब जो प्रोसेस मसला आ जाता है किसी नोड पे, किसी पॉइंट पे, तो उसको सॉल्व करने का कॉस्ट क्या होगा, यू नो? and then you have to figure out कि बेसिकली जहां जहां मसले आएंगे, अब इन मसलों को सॉल्व करने या हर्डल्स को सॉल्व करने में ये स्केलेबल है कि नहीं है। सो आई थिंक देखिए, एक हमारी थोड़ी सी बदकिस्मती है कि हम लोग एज वर नॉट अ वेरी स्ट्रक्चर्ड पीपल, ठीक है? लेकिन कुछ इदारे हमारे स्ट्रक्चर्ड हैं जहां हम बहुत कामयाब हैं। आप फौज को देख लें, ठीक है? फौज क्योंकि स्ट्रक्चर्ड है, तो फौज हमारी वन ऑफ द मोस्ट एफिशिएंट फौजें इन द वर्ल्ड है, राइट? उसी तरह बेसिकली जिस इदारे से हसन का ताल्लुक है, आईबीएल जो है, मतलब इज वन ऑफ द मोस्ट ऑर्गेनाइज्ड स्ट्रक्चर्ड कंपनीज इन पाकिस्तान। सो आई थिंक जो एक सिस्टमैटिक प्रोसेस के तहत ऑपरेट करता है वो सक्सीड करता है, और जो गाड़ों को स्केल करने के चक्कर में कभी प्रोसेस बना ही नहीं पाता, वो फंस जाते हैं और अल्टीमेटली पैसे घुमा देते हैं।
Okay, so you're saying that sustainability, for sustainability, a good planning is required. ठीक है, आप बहुत long term plan ना करें, लेकिन at least you should have a structure in mind. You should have a plan and a contingency plan in mind to move on, right? So this is a very important point for us. And I think one more important thing that is very important for reimagining is the acceptance of the problem, identification of the pain. जब तक हम ये identify नहीं करेंगे कोई problem है, जैसे कि हसन ने भी अभी share किया कि प्रॉब्लम यह है कि वो सेटिस्फाइड है स्टेटस को से। तो आप जब तक आइडेंटिफाई नहीं करेंगे कि प्रॉब्लम है स्टेटस को में, जब तक आप री इमेजिन करने की कोशिश नहीं करेंगे। So planning and identification of the problem, I guess, are the two main stepping stones towards reimagining any business model. Moving ahead, is what, of course, the pandemic has hit us badly, and it's changing the states of economy. And I'm sure our audience would like to hear that how you people tweaked your business models to adopt. Hassan has highlighted a bit of it. If you can add on this, and then of course, Munif, you can also share your experiences tweaking the model at this moment. Yes, Hassan, please.
Yeah. So, first, let me give a bit of a context. So we do about 10 to 12,000 shipments a day. That's the e-commerce orders that we do, and that roughly translates to around 10 tons daily that we move. Other than that, we do pharma movements, bulk movements, and that amounts to around 15, 17 tons a day, and we have a separate supply chain for that. So because we have our own supply chain across Pakistan, we move around 18 to 20 tons a day across Pakistan. That's a normal for us, and our organization was built around that. So we are a small, medium-sized organization. We had a team of 500 people. This is all February stats that I'm sharing with you, February and early March. And then suddenly what we started seeing was that the sales started to dip a little bit in the first 2 weeks of March, because a lot of our online sellers, they stopped receiving their goods because our economy is mostly import based economy. We generally import goods, sell it. We are generally resellers of goods. We do not उससे ज़्यादा हम वैल्यूएशन नहीं करते. So होना ये शुरू हुआ कि जी लोगों की consignments आनी बंद हुई, उनके orders कम हो गए because उनके पास supply कम हो गई. And then eventually 22nd March को lockdown announce हो गया. And because again, since one part of our business is we do pharma also, so we were allowed to operate, but most of हमारा जो major revenue that comes from the COD, the e-commerce logistics business, and that was almost shut down completely, except for people who were selling essential goods online. So this was a new crisis for us. We had to provide for our team, and we wanted to continue to operate across Pakistan. So what we did was we very quickly pivoted to models that were allowed by the government. So first, if you remember, the government highlighted that only essential goods and services will be allowed to operate, and which is why grocery stores were open. So we started. We started supplying goods for a lot of these people selling grocery online. So we have never done grocery before. We never supply or deliver perishables like fruits and vegetables because we had a lot of idle capacity. A lot of our staff was idle. So we started partnering up with people who were selling vegetables online, and because panic buying थी and लोग groceries और essential items ही खरीद रहे थे, so उसकी demand बहुत ज़्यादा थी, उनके पास capacity constraints से. We did that. Then we used our idle capacity to also partner with the NGOs. If you guys remember, a lot of NGOs came forward, a lot of individuals came forward to distribute ration bags among people who, daily wages, जिनके पास खाने की भी चीजें की कमी हो गई थी क्योंकि उनको उनकी daily wages नहीं मिल रही थी, and they needed to supply it far and wide. And we started, we partnered with these NGOs to provide services to these to provide the goods to these individuals. Also, what we did was a lot of FMCG companies, because the retail stores were closed, these FMCG companies, they all wanted to sell online and wanted to maximize their revenues, or at least, at least keep getting some of the revenues that they were getting before this pandemic to maybe sustain themselves. So we used our network to supply the goods for these FMCG companies also. जो हम इसके अलावा, because FMCG companies के जो volume होता है shipments का, उसमें generally it's not feasible to ship it through a logistics company, right? So उसके जो delivery charges होते हैं वो generally feasible नहीं होते, because the situation was that we had the idle capacity, so we gave them marginal rates, and they wanted to in any cost supply these goods to their customers at their doorsteps. So they signed up with us, and that's what we did for the whole 1 month. And then around mid of April, we started seeing that authorities, they eased out the lockdown, even though there were no notifications announced, and all of our online sellers, they started opening up slowly and gradually. They started, they were selling entertainment, indoor games, consoles online, again, essential goods, sanitizers, masks online, and they started opening up. And we then suddenly, from the mid of April, saw a huge uptake in the demand, and we were not ready for it. We did not even know that suddenly we'll start getting so many shipments and so many orders that then Ramzan was also starting up. So right now the position is that we are running at 100%. We have 200% loads of what we have in a normal scenario. So a lot of people are buying online. We're delivering for Khadi, we're delivering for outfitters. हमने कुछ एक बड़ा interesting model. Sorry, I'm taking a lot of time. हमने एक बड़ा interesting model introduce कराया. These retail stores, they were closed down during the pandemic. जैसे खादी हैं, इनके chain of retail stores बंद थे, outfitters हो गया, Sapphire हो गया, सभी लोग बंद थे. तो हमने इनको बोला कि यार retail store is closed, but now that government has eased the lockdown, so what you can do is you can use these e-stores, you use these physical stores and convert them into virtual stores or e-stores, accept the orders on a call center, on a line, and accept the order and ship it through us, and we'll deliver it. So rather than calling the customers to the stores, you can ship your goods to them through these stores only, rather than doing it. जैसे खादी जो अपनी e-commerce की जो sales करता है, वो करता है अपने central warehouse के through. That's a separate thing. और उनकी major जो आपको पता है पाकिस्तान में अभी भी retail to e-commerce का conversion is 0.2 or 0.3%. it's just that all the big brands, they make most of their money through their retail, right? And that was closed down. So even though they were accepting and they saw a uptake in demand in their e-commerce channels, on their e-commerce channels, but they still were not able to earn the revenues that they should be doing with their retail stores open. So we pitched this model to these retail stores, to these giants, to fashion giants, and they successfully piloted with us. And we, now we have 3-4 of these chains working with us, and we are picking up shipments from their stores, delivering to their customers. We've also provided them not just the last mile solution, but the solution around order taking as well. So these, I think I cannot share all. We did a lot of pivoting around this time, but these were few notable pivots that we did. And I think now we have the logistics companies, they're back on track. So for us, it's normal now. Yeah.
Okay, so great, Hassan. You actually told us that how you actually reallocated your resources and quickly reimagined what you were never doing before, and you quickly adopted to the new situation, right? So yes, Mani, we would like to hear from you how you remodeled your business during this pandemic.
Yeah, so with us, frankly speaking, आज भी हमारी core business तो suspended है. Right. So आज तकरीबन दूसरा महीना हो रहा है कि हमारी core business suspended. And again, like I said, most people don't recognize that Bikea's core business is actually the motorbike taxi business. ठीक है. और हमें जो delivery के लिए लोग इस्तेमाल कर रहे थे, ये fashion के portals नहीं कर रहे थे और अमीर लोग नहीं कर रहे थे, right? I mean, our percentage of actually B2B या हमें इसको concierge services कहते हैं, जो कि आप कहते हो जी फलानी जगह से कुछ ले आओ, this is actually less than 5% of our business. जो बकाया 15% डिलीवरी की हमारा काम था भी, वो ये था कि जो होलसेल मार्केट्स है ना, जैसे जोड़िया बाजार से कोई साइट सैंपल भेज रहा है, तो जो कारोबारी लोग हैं, चाहे वो ननकारी बाजार पिंडी में हो या शालमी लाहौर में हो या कराची में जोड़िया या बोल्टन में हो, ये लोग एक दूसरे को जो फेरी कर रहे थे सप्लाई. सो जब ये मार्केटें बंद हुई तो हमारा काम भी सारा ठप. ठीक है. So reality है कि basically we lost 95% of our business, right? So what could we do and what are we doing today, right? So what we're doing today is that we are focusing on falai kaam, right? What can we do during this downtime to either help the state, the city, or NGOs? That's one. ठीक है. Mostly around ration distribution. और ये काम हमने पहले किया नहीं था. हमने कभी कोई 20-20 kg की 2-2 बोरियां जो एक बाइक पे नहीं डाली थी, right? So I think we had to change that around and enable that. So that's one thing we did. The second thing we did was we started focusing a lot on our product capability. और हमने सारी organization को लगा दिया तकरीबन 9 sprints पे, 9 projects पे, ठीक है. और हर एक को उन 9 projects पे 100% dedicate कर दिया कि भाई माना कि आप लोग सारे work from home हैं, ठीक है, लेकिन we need you now that you have fewer distractions, fewer smoke breaks, fewer people talking to you, ठीक है. We are going to expect that in this time up till Eid, in fact up till June 1st, we are able to build things जो कि post lockdown हमारी business require करेगी, ठीक है, या market require करेगी. So some of the things that we're working on is कि historically हमारी multiple delivery की capability नहीं थी. मतलब आप एक rider को बुला के उसको basically 10 delivery नहीं दे सकते थे. एक तो basically ये live हो गया, अभी call center पे live है, app पे live हो जाएगा within the next 2 weeks. So एक तो हमने ये capability build की. दूसरी हमने return run जो है, cash का return run, यानी आप एक Facebook store हैं और आप कुछ डिलीवर करवा के बेसिकली उसके पैसे वापस वसूल करवाना चाह रहे हैं, उसकी कैपेबिलिटी भी तकरीबन 2-1 हफ्ते तक लाइव हो जाएगी. So we're building all the things which will essentially enable logistics. The third thing we're doing is कि अगले 2-3 दिन तक आप देखेंगे कि रमजान के इफ्तार बॉक्सेस आप डोनेट कर पाएंगे. ठीक है, आपने किसी फलाई इदारे को डोनेट करने के, आपने अपने इलाके में मंगवा के बेसिकली बांटने, तो वो भी आप बांट सकते. ठीक है. फिर हमने बेसिकली एक और प्रोडक्ट पे काम शुरू किया जो कि होपफुली ये लॉकडाउन के बाद जो है काम में आ जाएगा, और वो ये है कि कोई भी इंसान जो है देखिए आज आप जो है आपके लिए दराज पे आइटम लिस्ट करना आजाद है, ठीक है। OLX पे तो आसान है, लेकिन OLX में ना पेमेंट है ना लॉजिस्टिक्स है ना कुछ, मतलब it doesn't work that way, right? And it's very hard to share an OLX listing. So we are building the capability for very, very, very small micro sellers, yeah, Facebook sellers, to be able to create a listing and to be able to share it on Facebook or share it on WhatsApp. So we're creating that capability that will ultimately gel in with logistics and payments capability again within the city. So we are not in the business of city to city. Why? Because हमारा service level 30 मिनट में होता है, ठीक है। हमने बेसिकली 24 घंटे 48 घंटे बेसिक 4 दिन 10 दिन नहीं लगाने, हमने तो बेसिक 30 मिनट के अंदर बेसिकली जो है ये पूरी ट्रांजैक्शन क्लोज करनी है, ठीक है। So we're working on that, and the last thing we're working on, जो कि इंशाल्लाह लॉकडाउन के बाद भी लॉन्च करेंगे, जो कि एक सुपरमार्केट की कैपेबिलिटी है। यानी आप समझें कि आप जो आपके शहर में सबसे पॉपुलर सुपरमार्केट है ना, उससे भी आपको डिलीवरी मिल सकेगी। Again, so focus हमारा mostly around logistics, but not around e-commerce logistics, mostly around micro sellers like Facebook stores, or around FMCG distribution is the technology that we're building.
Okay. So I think it was really great knowing that you people have actually utilized this time not only in reallocating your resources, riders for ration deliveries for apne foreign kiya, which is a good social work, as well as helping your riders. And at the same time, you have utilized this time for planning out and bringing out new products, right? And I think it's a good news for all our participants here कि इस वक्त हमारे पास दोनों लॉजिस्टिक कंपनीज की तरफ से बहुत सारी नई ऑप्शंस और नए एवेन्यूज आ रहे हैं, right? So it's not all the business owners, micro business owners must be excited with this. So with this great discussion, Hassan, I would like to tell you that what are the options with business owners at this point in time when we are saying reimagining? Should this reimagining be for survival or for expansion? This is a question mark. What do you think?
Yeah, so it's an interesting question. I think survival for most, but expansion for some also. So see, these are difficult times. The world has gone into a recession, and these are unprecedented times. We have never experienced this before, at least us in our lifetimes. We see a global pandemic every 150 years, but we never imagined कि हमारे lifetime में ऐसा कोई pandemic आएगा, and now we are going through it. And human beings are very resilient creatures, and they work around things, and they get used to things, and then they overcome these whatever crisis they face. So right now, I think for most, it's about surviving because the economies are slow, the supply chains are disrupted across the world, and whereas it has maybe made a lot of business models obsolete, it has opened up a lot of opportunities also, a lot of micro and macro opportunities. So right now we are very uncertain as to what will happen, how will events unfold, how long will this take to maybe go away completely or partially, and we are still learning as we are experiencing it. But I see a lot of exciting, because change is difficult, but for some it's very exciting. So I see a lot of changes around me. So generally, because एक तो ये हमें the only way that we can fight against this virus is that we have a good immune system. Our immunity is in good form, in good shape, and our we are very cautious also. Social distancing करें, masks पहने, gloves पहने. So you see a lot of businesses, they've started supplying products like these. Right, and whereas even electronic stores, online stores which used to sell electronics, have started supplying masks, gloves, sanitizers first. Secondly, there's a lot of craze around fitness equipment in your homes, because gyms are also closed. Cycling, I see a lot of people in my neighborhood, they're cycling around. And then once this trend started, I see a lot of people started offering services, repair services at the doorstep. The cycles, bikes on rent. Cycles delivered to your doorstep, because obviously cycle shops are not open, and maybe everyone wants to have a bike, and because work from home है, time है, घर पे बैठे हैं और अपनी fitness भी अच्छी रखनी है. So I think even during these pandemic, people who can spot opportunities and who are smart enough, they generally jump and grab these opportunities and make a living out of it. What a lot of other people, if you see what restaurants did, so restaurants are completely shut down. All these waiters, all these managers, all these restaurant staff, people associated with the food industry, they are now it's been 2 months and the businesses cannot, maybe they can afford to pay their employees for a month, maybe let's say 2 months, but what will they do? अब आगे भी अभी कुछ नहीं पता कि कब restaurants और malls खुलेंगे. So a lot of restaurants, because the government allowed essential goods to be delivered to the customers, what they did was Broadway and a lot of other burger joints, they started, उन्होंने finished food के बजाय, cooked food के बजाय उन्होंने kits supply करना शुरू कर दी. You want to have a steak from CFU and you are craving for it, but you can't have it. They will deliver a kit to your doorstep, and you can, and with the instructions and everything, with the spices, with the secret ingredients, and you can maybe make it. So I think that was an amazing move. That way they can still at least run their kitchens, earn some of the revenues, and keep the boat going forward. So I think that's what it is. So for them, it's for survival. But for companies like us, for business models like us, globally we saw that around logistics and around e-commerce logistics, because people were afraid to step out of their homes, even if the lockdown was eased out in their city, in their country, they're still afraid to go out. So people started ordering their mobile phone batteries, chargers, gadgets, whatever they needed online. And then it really comes down to these logistics companies. So for example, we have been hiring like crazy, not because we're doing a social service to the nation, but because we're getting a lot of loads, and we want to right now enable these businesses who are not being able to sell through the conventional channel. We want to help them. We want to be their support system to be able to sell and support these customers who want these products also. So the models like us, we are hiring people. We now see the food deliveries are open, and a lot of people are now ordering food online, and they're getting it delivered to the doorstep. So for them, maybe it's about expansion right now. Yeah.
Yes. So you're saying that for some it's expansion and for some it's survival, because after we haven't seen pandemic before, but we have seen a lot of economic recessions. And one common thing after the recession period is that consumer become more cost conscious, right? So I think those businesses who are targeting reimagining for survival need to think about their cost reduction and offering something simple and affordable. On the other hand, expansion is there in certain industries, may it be through technological or design-driven innovations, right? Okay, so, with this,
if I can add, so really it depends on the strata of population that you're targeting. So for example, for our SECA portion of the income, so they're still employed, they're working from home, they're getting their salaries, and they are not spent because they're not going to the office, so they do not have the expense, the fuel expense or the transportation expense, but they're not going out, they're not eating out, so they're saving on that. They know functions, weddings, birthdays, so they're saving on that money, and they have a lot more disposable income at their disposal. So when we started delivering for Khadi, we thought maybe it's an expensive clothing item, and maybe not a lot of people will order it, but they have orders like crazy, right? So then things like these are also selling. So it really depends on what sort of sort of consumers are you, what sort of audience are you targeting? It really depends on that. So yeah.
Right. Okay. So it depends on the audience. If you're targeting SEC A, then your strategy might be different from when you're targeting SEC B or C. Great. So with this discussion, Muneeb, I would like to ask you that how much potential do you see in this mutant middleman model who is trying to capitalize on technological disruption plus this idle capacity utilization? How much potential do you see in this model? I think it's on rise. What do you see on this?
So I don't understand which middleman are you talking about?
I'm talking about this middleman model, like, may it be Daraz, may it be Daraz, like, it's a middleman model where you're not actually producing, but you are just reselling, you're just collecting from sellers, and then you're just delivering it to your customers. So ये जो marketplaces का model है या middleman का model है, इसमें कितना potential है under the current situation?
I think बहुत potential है. I mean, ultimately देखें ultimately दो parties को आप मिला रहे हो, right? चाहे आप electronically मिला लो या logistics के केस में physically मिला लो, right? So वो दो parties don't know each other, ठीक है? And उनके लिए बहुत झंझट है आपस में connect करना. तो अगर आप किसी को भी connect करके दे रहे हो तो उसमें opportunity है. I think that opportunity will always prevail, right? I do not, however, feel that ये जो specifically Daraz model है या आपका e-commerce का जो platform model है, I think the way it has been done, उसी model को copy करके कोई फायदा नहीं है. और वो फायदा इसलिए नहीं है क्योंकि जिसके अगेंस्ट आप compete कर रहे हैं उसके पास बेइंतहा पैसा है जलाने के लिए, चाहे कस्टमर की एक्विजिशन के लिए हो या लॉजिस्टिक्स के कॉस्ट बेयर करने के लिए हो. लेकिन अब अल्टीमेटली कोरियर कंपनी तो एक हद तक अफोर्ड कर सकती है कि राइडर पैसे लेके भाग गया, ठीक है, लेकिन जो ई कॉमर्स कंपनी है जो उस कॉस्ट को देख ही नहीं रही, वो कह रही खैर है बंदा भाग गया, खैर है बेसिकली हमारे मार्केटिंग कॉस्ट में बेसिकली एलोकेट हो जाएगा. सो दे हैव अ लॉट ऑफ मनी टू एलोकेट इनटू द लीकी बकेट्स, राइट? So I don't think it's a good idea to copy. I do feel that there are many ideas for many other platforms. So for example, I find it strange कि अभी तक किसी ने लंडा बाजार नहीं ले गया है ऑनलाइन सही तरह, right? I find it strange कि अभी तक lingerie ऑनलाइन पाकिस्तान में सही तरह नहीं है, right? I think there are many models, but no one's really thinking about a specific platform. They're just saying कि जो वो कर रहे हैं ना, उसने केमिस्ट की दुकान लगाई, उसके बराबर में मैं केमिस्ट की दुकान खोलता हूँ. That is how people are thinking, right? कि वो तो मुझे सही लग रहा है पेट्रोल पंप, उसके बिल्कुल ऑपोजिट द रोड में एक और पेट्रोल पंप खोल लेता हूँ. Why can't you think, right? Why can't you think of something which will allow you to be able to provide a better service level? Because आपकी इंडिविजुअल सर्विसिंग स्केलेबल नहीं है. लेकिन एक डॉक्टर जो है वो दिन में कितने पेशेंट देख लेगा, ठीक है, मतलब वो हजारों तो नहीं देख सकता ना दिन में, मे बी 100 देख ले, हजारों तो नहीं देख सकता. तो आपका जितना भी जोश और वलवला है, आप जब तक उसको किसी प्रोसेस के थ्रू नहीं लेके जाके उसको स्केलेबल नहीं कर पाएंगे, तो आपके जोश और वलवले किसी ना किसी दिन आप बीमार होंगे, किसी ना किसी दिन कोई गमी शादी आप निकल जाएंगे और आपका कारोबार ठप हो जाएगा.
Right. So yes, you're right कि middleman की presence इसीलिए ज़्यादा या इसीलिए ये models rise पर है, because it actually helps people to capitalize on the potential of others. आप सिर्फ अपनी potential पर एक हद तक आगे बढ़ सकते हैं. To capitalize on the potential of others, of course ये middleman का model बहुत suitable है. And true, why copy? Why not reimagine? Identify the gaps over there and create your own new model. That's I think the need of the day. Great. So although I have a lot of questions, मेरे ज़हन में काफ़ी चीज़ें थी और बहुत अच्छी हमारी discussion जा रही है, but since we're short of time, so I would really like to open this for audience now, और जो participants हैं, if they want to ask any questions, so please they can write in the chat window and we can take them. Mia Ahmed Piyun, can you just unmute yourself? Don't switch on the video to smooth the streaming process. आप सिर्फ voice unmute करके.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, I have a question for Mr. Munib.
Yes.
So the question is, first of all, I am really inspired by the way he has worked in the Bikeia and brought it to such level. raising such rounds of funding and really reimagining the model. But I have a question that when he started off Bikey in 2016, so there were two successful companies in the ride-hailing business. Number one was Uber, that was 7 years old back then, and plus $50 billion company, and second was Careem. So how did he make sure that his company will target a proper niche, and how did he make sure that Bikea will really be able to make proper barriers to entry in front of these big giants, and how and what would he suggest to the different business models or businesses that will be that will launch in the coming years to successfully implement those barriers to entry?
जी, I mean, देखिए, थोड़ा सा मैं आपको बताऊंगा कि मेरे पास एक अनफेयर एडवांटेज भी है, ठीक है, और अनफेयर एडवांटेज ये है कि मैं क्योंकि काफी साल से इस नौयत के काम करता आ रहा हूं, तो मेरे लिए इन्वेस्टर से जाके पैसे रेज करना निस्बतन आसान है, ठीक है, दूसरों के मुकाबले में. सो आई थिंक आई ऑलवेज न्यू आई हैड दिस अनफेयर एडवांटेज. एक तो ये बात होगी. सो मैं बगैर इन्वेस्टमेंट के क्या इतने बड़े खिलाड़ियों के साथ के खिलाफ लड़ सकता था या हमारी कंपनी लड़ सकती थी? No, right? Absolutely not. So it was new that we could raise some money, but obviously not raise as much money or have as much money to throw as big global international competitors could, but knew that we could throw some money. Okay. दूसरा पॉइंट ये है कि हमने उबर और करीम के बारे में, जो अक्सर लोग कहते हैं करीम पाकिस्तानी कंपनी, करीम का को फाउंडर पाकिस्तानी है, लेकिन वो पाकिस्तान में रहता नहीं है, ठीक है, वो तो दुबई में रहता है और ताउमर दुबई में ही रहता है. तो श्योर उसने बेसिकली काफी सारे लोग पाकिस्तान में हायर किए हैं, लेकिन प्रोडक्ट वाले लोग पाकिस्तान में नहीं है. मतलब वो इंजीनियर है, बस वो बैठ के टक सॉरी जो बताओगे वो कर देंगे, लेकिन otherwise there are not too many product people in Pakistan. So one thing that we knew really at the onset was they had not launched the motorbike category. So we launched the motorbike category. हमारे साल बाद वो तो पहले रिक्शे के पीछे भाग रहे थे, रिक्शा उनसे नहीं चला तो सर खुजलना शुरू किया कि भाई रिक्शा तो नहीं चल रहा हमसे, भाई बाइकिया को देखो, बाइक कर रही है तो बाइक को कॉपी कर लो, ठीक है. तो पहली बात तो ये बाइक कैटेगरी हमने जब शुरू की थी, हमें ये शक था कि इस कैटेगरी में आएंगे, लेकिन हमें ये नहीं शक था कि इतनी मिजरेबली फेल करेंगे रिक्शा कैटेगरी, ठीक है. तो एक तो ये, और दूसरी बात ये कि बाइक कैटेगरी में देखें, हमने बाइकिया का नाम सिर्फ मोटर बाइक से नहीं रखा. बाइकिया का नाम हमने इसलिए भी रखा था क्योंकि लॉन्ग टर्म प्लान जो था वो था बाय किया, खरीदा. तो हमने कहा था कि बिल आखिर ई कॉमर्स में आएंगे, ठीक है, जब अपनी ट्रांसपोर्ट और लॉजिस्टिक्स को पक्का कर लें, उसके बाद हम पेमेंट्स पे आएंगे, और पेमेंट्स में आएंगे तो हम सॉल्व करेंगे बेसिकली ई कॉमर्स को, ठीक है. तो वी न्यू कि इनका तो बैकग्राउंड ही नहीं है उस तरफ, ठीक है. दे डोंट अंडरस्टैंड दैट बिजनेस एट ऑल. और इनको वो करते करते बनाते बनाते टाइम लगेगा, और टाइम इज समथिंग दैट उधर कोई छोटी सी भी चेंज करने के लिए उनको महीनों लगेंगे प्रोडक्ट की एवोल्यूशन के लिए. लेकिन जो सबसे बड़ा तीसरा हमारा एडवांटेज था वो ये था, जो कि हमारा एडवांटेज था लेकिन बदकिस्मती से पाकिस्तान का डिसएडवांटेज है, कि यहाँ लोग अपनी जबान में पढ़ लिख नहीं सकते, ठीक है. लिख तो सकते ही नहीं है, कीबोर्ड पे तो लिख नहीं सकते अपनी जबान में. तो उबर ने अपनी ऐप में पहली चीज जो डाल दी थी वो लिखती थी वेयर टू. तो भाई आप खयाबाने शमशीर जो है किस तरह टाइप करोगे उर्दू में वेयर टू, और आपका वो एक आम बंदा जो है वो किस तरह स्पेल करेगा खयाबाने शमशीर अंग्रेजी में. 20 मिलियन लोग हैं जिनको अंग्रेजी समझ आती है, 10 मिलियन है जो लिख सकते हैं. तो ये तो बेसिकली मार्केट तो अपर क्लास ही टैप कर सकेंगे. और आज भी आप उबर करीम की मार्केटिंग देखिए, installs have capped off regardless of the amount they spent hundreds of millions of dollars in Pakistan. Hundreds of millions of dollars. क्यों खर्च किए? पाकिस्तान की प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी के लिए नहीं, ग्लोबली दिखाने के लिए कि जी हमारा मार्केट शेयर है, देखो इतने यूजर हैं. पाकिस्तान और इजिप्ट वो एसेंशियली कंट्रीज जहां ये किसी नफे के लिए नहीं गए थे, ये सिर्फ और सिर्फ बेसिकली यूजर एक्वायर करने के लिए गए थे, ताकि ग्लोबली जब ये इनका आईपीओ पब्लिक हो तो दिखा पाए कि देखो यार कितने ज्यादा हमारे पास यूजर है, ठीक है. तो हमें पता था कि एक सर्टेन पॉइंट पे जाके इन्होंने एड्रेसेबल मार्केट पाकिस्तान की कैप कर ली. अब आप इनसे पूछो तो ये कहेंगे भाई why even bother about the rest of the country? जो अमीर लोग हैं जिनको अंग्रेजी समझ आती है उनको वही बेसिक मार्केट है, उन्हीं के पास पैसे हैं खर्च करने के लिए, बगाया के पास तो पैसे ही नहीं खर्च करने के लिए. This is generally the mindset that most basically multinationals have in Pakistan. ठीक है. अब आप देख लें कि ये लॉने शॉने जो ई-कॉमर्स चल रहा है किस पे चल रहा है, ये सारी फैशन लॉन्स पे 4,500-5,000 रुपए का तो एक कुर्ता है. भाई गरीब बंदा तो नहीं लेता ना, मिडिल क्लास लेता है. ये तो वो लोग लेते हैं जो मिडिल क्लास से अपर क्लास बनने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. ठीक है. और दिखा रहे हैं ईद पे पहन के दिखा रहे हैं कि देखो मेरा 5,000 का जोड़ा है, मेरा 8,000 रुपए का जोड़ा है. सो ये तो शो ऑफ वाले लोग हैं. तो अल्टीमेटली दे आर नॉट एड्रेसिंग द लार्ज डेमोग्राफिक. So we went in saying we are not going to focus on the upper class. We don't really care about them. That's not a very large market. And let the global giants fight that market. Let us try to build something for the middle and lower middle class. And so वो हमने target की और constantly हमारा product जो है वो focus कर रहा है कि how do we simplify things for our driver partners, for our customers, and do things जो लोग ये इतनी आसानी से नहीं कर सकते. ये नहीं कि ये नहीं कर सकते, कर तो सब कुछ सकते हैं, पैसा तो उनके पास बेइंतहा है, लेकिन इतनी आसानी से और इतनी जल्दी नहीं कर सकते जिस स्पीड पे हम कर सकते. And that has been the agility of IKEA has allowed us to hold the fort. I don't say win. You know, we've been able to hold the fort against someone who's just been throwing money at trying to kill you.
Okay, so basically you actually fought, or I better say that you differentiated yourself from those by identifying a separate target audience and catering to their needs, right? Okay, another question that we have is that what are the marketing, I think, what is the marketing strategy? What is your marketing strategy and what worked for you and what didn't? Maybe we can take this question from Hassan. Like, if you have lesser capital or lesser amount to pull into your marketing, then what could be the better marketing tools for us?
Yeah. So, see, we are a B2B business, primarily a B2B business. We are not a consumer facing business like by IKEA. So we work with online stores, we work with other businesses. And for that, so marketing for a B2B business and for a B2C business is entirely different. In my opinion, for B2B businesses, you drive your top line through the B2B sales. So हमारी जितनी top line हमने grow की है, हमने जितना business onboard किया है, वो primarily through our sales team किया है. So we have team members in Karachi, Lahore, Islamabad, Multan, Faisalabad, Gujranwala, जहाँ पे हमारे offices हैं, वहाँ पे हमारी sales team है, वो generally लोगों को जाती है, onboard करती है online stores को और उनको awareness create करती है हमारी product के बारे में, उनको onboard करते हैं. But obviously in today's age, marketing is something that you still need to do. You still need to create. आपने एक above the line marketing वो create करनी होती है, awareness create करनी होती है. So for that we use digital fronts. We have had few billboard ads, but that was very few and that was experimental, and we never received a very good response on that. So हमारा other than our B2B sales team, हम हमारी digital platforms LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook को use करते हैं और वहाँ से हम अपने हमें वहाँ से अच्छी खासी leads मिलती हैं, अच्छे खासे लोग हमसे engage करते हैं, we get a lot of ideas or queries through those platforms, and then we route it back towards our sales team. Secondly, अच्छा हमने in my first venture Stallion, when we launched and we were new in the market and we hadn't raised any investment, and whatever we're doing out of our pockets, me and my partner. So उस time we used some of the very unconventional way of marketing. I would like to share that, and to everybody's surprise, they were effective also. So आपको हमेशा messages आते होंगे आपके phone में कि fumigation करा लें, SMS shots, generally spamming, और वो बहुत सारे messages आते हैं दिन में. So generally there are these marketing companies जो कि ये आप उनसे SMS shots ले सकती हैं. उन्होंने किसी तरह से एक database acquire किया हुआ होता है through a software. वो आपको इनफैक्ट वो सॉफ्टवेयर दे देते हैं और आपको अलाउड होता है कि आप 4 SMS शॉट चला लेते हैं फॉर X and very cheap. So हमने because we had Stallion was the first venture, उसका कोई ब्रांड नेम नहीं था, तो हमें ये था कि जी अगर हम फेसबुक पे भी जाते हैं, दूसरी जगह पे जाते हैं, तो हमें बहुत माइलेज बिल्ड करने के थोड़ा टाइम लगेगा. So हमने एक SMS शॉट यूज किया और हमने मैसेज चलाया and we started getting calls. कुछ हमें छोटे कस्टमर्स मिले. उस टाइम पे 2014 में हमारा सबसे बड़ा कस्टमर सनाउल्लाह स्टोर we got it through that 5,000 rupees ka SMS shot that we run. And that's what business we were, because we were from IBA, so हमने IBA alumni डिपार्टमेंट को यूज किया, एक ईमेल ड्राफ्ट किया और उनसे बोला जी प्लीज ये भेज दें कि टू IBA students have started a delivery company to maybe provide services to the online stores. And they sent out an email and we received a couple of requests और लोग हमारे साथ, हमारा पहला कस्टमर इनफैक्ट उस ईमेल के थ्रू हमारा खातून फैब्रिक्स वाज द फर्स्ट कस्टमर जिसकी हमने पहली डिलीवरी की थी आज से 6-7 साल पहले. So we got it through that email because वो खातून फैब्रिक्स जिनका था उनके बेटा IBA में पढ़ता था, and he saw that email and told his dad, look, you don't have to worry about leopards anymore or TCS, and maybe these guys can do a better job. So I think these were the techniques. Again, you learn along the way. Initially हमने कोई मतलब for the next 2-3 years हमने कोई expensive marketing की ही नहीं, हमने इसी तरह से करते रहे, slowly gradually. इनफैक्ट ये जो guest sessions होते हैं, ये webinars होते हैं, हमें इससे भी बहुत customers मिले. हम IBA में WomenX एक initiative था जो वर्ल्ड बैंक के साथ IBA ने women entrepreneurs को एक डिप्लोमा प्रोग्राम करा रहे थे हमको उनका बिजनेस सिखाने के लिए. सो उसमें बहुत सारी women entrepreneurs थी. एक दफा IBA ने मुझे उसमें इनवाइट कर लिया. I told them about my venture, and after that session I got a lot of female sellers who signed up with us. So and that was obviously for free. So you use channels like these, techniques like these when you do not have the money.
Okay, so Hassan actually has given, since we have a lot of students, in this particular question was from a student. That's why I asked Hassan to answer, and he, I think, pretty well explained कि किस तरह से without money भी आप at least push कर सकते हैं. And of course, with later on when you have your incomes building up, then you can reinvest them to a larger extent. Okay, since we are short of time, मैं सिर्फ एक last question लूँगी आपसे. मुनीब के लिए क्वेश्चन हमारे पास आया हुआ है कि sorry, a very good question. If I'm missing on this, just give me a second. Okay, so बाइकिया के लिए क्वेश्चन था कि इन्वेस्टर्स से रिलेटेड आपने हाईलाइट किया कि it was easy for me to get the investors. So question हमारे पास है कि how were you able to find, how can an entrepreneur be able to find an investor, and what are the hurdles in arranging the financing for a business?
देखिए जी, so one thing that you'll find with Hassan and both me is that we started our own businesses of sorts before people trusted us with more money or bigger things, right? And I think many people who are coming out of college who have not exhibited success, whether that is success in being employed at one of the top jobs in the world or in the country, or having shown, like Hassan, the ability to build a business like he did with Stallion from scratch and shown success there. If you have not done either of these two things, you should never go raise money. Because no one, it's a futile exercise. आप उसके बाद depress हो जाओ, कहोगे ये तो मजाक है, हम 0 to 1 पे गए थे, हम momentum पे गए थे, तो lift ही नहीं कराते, पैसे ही नहीं देते. वो क्यों दें आपको पैसे? आपने क्या कारकर्दगी दिखाई है जिस पे कोई भरोसा करेगा कि आप उनके पैसे को double या triple या 10 गुना करें? So I think it's super important if you're coming out of college, you're going to be one of the two. And let me be very clear with you, if you have not, so या तो आप top student हो, और top student से मेरा ये नहीं मुराद कि top 1-2 students हो, लेकिन top quartile में आप आते हो, ठीक है? और आपने नौकरी पहले 1-2 साल वो नौकरी की हो जो कि आपके पूरे कॉलेज में उनकी जॉब्स कोई नहीं ले सका. So you went through, you were selected of, let's say 100 students in your class. You were one of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kids who was able to get someone to buy the fact that they should select you, okay, to do work at a very prestigious organization. So या तो आप उन top 5-10 लोगों में हो, ठीक है? और अगर आप उन 5-10 लोगों में नहीं हो तो आपने कोई ना कोई बिजनेस खड़ा करके दिखाना है और उसको सक्सेसफुल करके दिखाना है, ताकि उसके बाद अगर आप कोई इन्वेस्टमेंट रेज करने के लिए जा रहे हैं तो आप पे कोई भरोसा कर सके कि ये एतबारी बंदा है जिसने कोई कारकर्दगी दिखाई है पहले, ठीक है. विदाउट दैट आई थिंक इट इज it's quite hard for you to raise money, and I wouldn't even try to raise money without it. So I'll give you my example. The way I started was, so out of college I was fortunate enough uh, to do work or to join an investment bank, which was one of the top investment banks in the world. Okay, this was in New York. So it wasn't कि मैं पढ़ाई में नाकाम था और उसकी वजह से बेसिकली मैंने जी काम ढूंढने पे मैं निकला, राइट. सो सॉरी माय डॉटर. और दूसरा जो है, जब वो मेरा काम खत्म हुआ वहां, तो उसके बाद मैंने एक इदारे में काम किया जो कि डेटा कलेक्ट करता था, और उसके मैं सीईओ के पास, फाउंडर के पास गया और मैंने कहा कि रीड, आई कैन सेव यू सम मनी, राइट. सो आई एक्चुअली वेंट टू एन एग्जिस्टिंग एम्प्लॉयर. I went to an existing employer and asked that existing employer to essentially trust me to contract work to me. And that is, I think, one of the first things you can do. If you have no money, one of the first things you can do is actually go to your employer. And if that employer feels that you are trustworthy enough to give a theka to, that employer will give you a theka, right? And so that is the route that you can take from an employment perspective. If you do not or cannot take that route because either you're not capable academically or you're not capable to get the right types of jobs, then go the entrepreneur route, which is go start a business and show success. Because once you're able to show success, regardless of whether you are a top student or a top person at one of the top companies in the country, or you are a person who's exhibited कि जी आपने कोई कारोबार में success लाए, जो सेठ है या जो बिजनेस ओनर है वो दोनों को एक ही लेवल पे देखेगा, राइट. सो टुडे आई डोंट केयर वेदर यू ग्रेजुएट फ्रॉम हार्वर्ड, आई विल पुट यू एट पार विद एन एंटरप्रेन्योर because both of you have been able to exhibit grit. Grit means कि आपने हर मुश्किल में आप पैर के ऊपर आए, ठीक है, चाहे वो एकेडमिक हो या बेसिकली बाजार में हो.
True. So basically, you have to establish your credibility before moving on to raising finance. आपकी अपनी कोई credibility नहीं है, पीछे आपकी कोई history नहीं है कारकिर्दगी की, तो फिर definitely आप finance raise करने के लिए नहीं जा सकते. So before moving on to finance, you have to figure out some way out to create your credibility in the market. Thank you so much for my panelists and for the guests. And I think I'm really happy.
I have a comment at the
Yes,
end.
yes.
If you,
Yeah, sure,
if
please.
you can allow me.
Yes, Javed, sir, please.
I'm Javed. You know, I'm basically a chief operating officer for an international non-governmental organization from UK. So my one comment is, you know, whenever you see, because I worked across the globe, so I have the knowledge of things, and just because of this pandemic, we have seen first time was how to operate a thing sitting at home. So my first thing is, when you are representing an organization, is standardization. So when you are sitting there in UK and ordering something, you are going to get a standardized thing with a standardized market price. But when you are sitting in a country like Pakistan, how you are going to believe, and again in the process in future, so you are going to receive 7 different quotes, okay, with the same kind of things. So this is one of the challenge, you know, the companies and the big brands and, you know, the organizations they are facing in this country, and how to mitigate this, and how to, you know, मैं कहता हूँ कि इसका solution क्या होगा, क्योंकि ultimately आपने ये है कि उसको जो due diligence है उसको पूरा करना होता है, and how you are going to fulfill the due diligence then for an organization like Muslim Hands. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Javed Saab. I guess you summarized it well, that basically the solution of this economic situation lies in reimagining. So with this comment, I would like to conclude the discussion. I would like to thank all the participants for joining us, and special thanks to the panelists for taking out their time and sharing your amazing views with our participants. Thank you so much, Vineet. Thank you, Hassan. Thanks a lot.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thank
Thank
you,
Thank
you.
you
Hafiz.
so much. Okay, Araf is participants. Great.
Alaikum.